This is pretty much presentation. You can use this presentation throughout talking to the customer to close the actual deal. Here's a valuable one right here. This is one that was given to me. This is your added benefits. So let's say you're with USAA and you're military, you'll get a 15% discount on your homeowner's insurance policy. Let's say you're with Allstate, you'll get 15%. Let's say if you're with Hartford, you get 20% off of your homeowner's insurance policy. Sometimes all of them are 20%. You have to check with your company, with your insurance policy. So you save money with ADT in the long run because they're certified. See, when the homeowner's insurance policy sees that you're with ADT, they lower your homeowner's insurance policy. They give you a discount. They lower the payment. So you're like protected more, right? From fire and burglary. You're also protected if you have a medical emergency. It can be anything, right? They'll protect you and the insurance is decreased. Because if you're protected, the insurance companies don't have to pay out as much if there's a robbery or if there's a sickness or something. Or let's say if there's a fire, they sometimes can get there within 2 to 3 minutes because of ADT. That can keep the house from completely burning down. That saves the homeowners money. And the insurance company doesn't have to pay out as much. Only if the bathroom in the back garden burns down, you're only paying a few $100,000 rather than millions. And then we start the guidance. I'm not saying you get ADT and the fire department's going to be there within 2 to 3 minutes. It can take them time. It can take them between 3 to 10 minutes maybe, but usually not. They don't want to be a longer response time. ADT increases the response time because of the beacon, because of the device that they put on the wall. They have basically their address on file, and I call it a beacon, but it's really an address on file, and it's going through Wi-Fi and cellular. Remember, we use cellular. Hey, listen, you got a camera? Without your Wi-Fi, it's not a camera. That's what I'm going to tell people. I'm self-reliable. I got my own camera. Nope, you lose your Wi-Fi, you don't have your camera. It's been proven. I've got a professional tech that's as authorized as much as the FBI that can tell you if you lose your Wi-Fi, you lose the camera, unless you have a backup cellular. Do some research. You think those cameras got 500 gigabytes in them? No, the cameras don't. They stream everything through a cloud. In most cases, you need cellular. We have backup cellular. It's like basically similar to putting an iPad on the wall. It's like a cell phone on the wall. And that will connect to your camera. If you don't have the cellular, you don't have a camera. Not really. Or your transition word, Wi-Fi. That's what you want to focus on, Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi. Because it's not reliable. Door slam. So a door slam, you put NI, which will turn red, and then you know not to knock it. So it's very important to not let it get to your head because it can ruin you. So you just say door slam, no big deal. It's procedure. Cops get spit on. I'm not a cop, but people get spit on, even criminals, even people, saints, even ministers get spit on. Any type of paramedics get spit on, doctors get spit on, movie stars get spit on. When you're playing Richard III, you get spit on. You just mark it and move on. I'll show you a look. How would it function? We'll try to stay out of the glare. Then we go here. That means they're not interested. Door slam, and you move on. You can do this when you're at IHOP eating, or you can do it in your car. Get out of it here. And we simply just center right here by hitting this button. Centers, okay? We find where we are. We're gonna find a new one. There it is, boom. We're gonna copy it. Copy, get out of it here. Try it again. Back in Sales Rabbit. Watch the glares, the filmmaker. You have to be a filmmaker too. Then search. Then we're going to pin. Always going to go with the new home. New home. Okay. And there we go. On our way.
Starting route to 11.
Use this as a device, 400 feet. Somewhere in this area. Always follow that procedure before you move forward, or try to. You want to buckle up and then move forward. Simple thing, but it makes a difference. In the eyes of people around you, people that love you, and of course, Piggy Piggy Poo. And we know who Piggy Piggy Poo is. That way everybody's happy. And then we go to the next destination.
Ridge Road. Then the destination is on your right.
It'll talk to you. You can leave it on. It'll tell you sometimes when you're approaching. We'll see what it does.
The destination is on your right. Arrived.
So you can even listen to it. Some are that good, they can actually listen to it. I'm only going to be able to tell you this information. You can use notes to take names and addresses and information on install dates, and you can program that into our install. Basically leads to a contract. It's basically an install program. It's not really an install program. It's just a program on the computer with a certain name that you use to sign the people up. Then that installer will come out and then install it. It's basically, you can also store the information, because if you get a phone call from them, and with Apple, it'll show the name of the person that called. An appointment time can be set with the appointment keeper. They have a Apple appointment thing. So you can set that in, and it'll tell you who called and how far you are from the appointment. And it'll remind you to go there if you need to do a follow-up or something, or an appointment. Basically, use your phone as a calendar. Then you sign them up through a program here, which is confidential. And that goes into the program for the installer to arrive on the computer, basically on the... Sometimes people forget about these things. Those are beacons. You want to pay attention to the wind blowing with this thing right here, because you might need an American flag to find out the weather when the wind blows. One thing Burleson and Crowley does have is the military. Yeah, they might as well be a military base, the whole city. It's military, it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and Cop City. These guys are big time secure, but they do have security too. I've been arrested by one of them. He was a Vietnam vet. They called him Loopy. He was my first father-in-law. He arrested me for looking in a garage, his garage, had a little window on it to see if my wife, my future wife, was parked there that night when I was looking for her. Spotlights hit me. I was in jail for about 20 hours. Well, 17 hours. I counted the hours. Then I got out on bond, and then he went up and dropped the charges. He was a Vietnam vet. He worked on Tonka Bay. He was special ops. That's called a submarine. He was Navy. He's basically what Robert De Niro was in Meet the Parents. Yeah, this guy, he's got a hearing aid. But when I told him, I said, hey, listen, I'm going to marry your daughter. He looked at me and said, well, we'll have to get you a house. And he was he was looking over his tomato garden. He's a Sicilian. And when he approved of it, he finally approved of it. They love their daughters. We finally approved of it. Later, we'd have a cat that died. He buried that cat in that tomato garden. That cat's name is Squeak. And he prayed it over the grave, too, of Squeak. We miss him. If he's gone, I don't know. If Squeak is gone, but I don't know if Loopy's still around. Might be. all that Spielberg stuff. I hope it does come out, because I know Spielberg controls all the sharks in the ocean with his mind. Right, Gaggy Lala? Gaggy Lala. Right, she knows who I'm talking to.
You pick the place and I'll choose the time, and I'll climb that hill in my own way. Just wait a while for the right. Hear the sound of the things you said today.
Here it is. There's a few crazy stuff. I went to school, the same school Bradley Cooper went to, when it came to his acting school, New York. My manager went to the same school Pete Davidson went to. This is a true story. If Pete hears the show, he was a ball player named Giovanni. So if Pete hears the show, I don't know what college though, but it was wherever Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live. They went to the same school. I mean a ball player, I mean a baseball player. He was a professional baseball player. If Adam the Woo was alive, he'd be jealous as hell because he played for the Rays. But he wasn't like a regular player. So he was a ball player that played for the Florida Rays, the Rays. You know when they say raise up and all that kind of stuff? Raise up. That guy was just old. You know, he's like my dad. He needs the wording to be perfect. So I told him that his homeowner's insurance policy is lowered if he chooses the smart home system with the, you know, the new homeowners program. It helps you lower the payment on your homeowner's insurance policy, but he didn't like my wording. He said, no, you haven't done that. And I said it basically like, your homeowner's insurance policy has been lowered. Is the wrong way to approach it. You say your homeowner's insurance policy can be lowered if you choose a smart home system with a camera, because you've been put into the new homeowners program. So it does lower the monthly payment on your homeowner's insurance policy if you so choose to get the smart home system. You don't have to have the camera. You just have to be monitored, and they give you a certification through ADT. He didn't like all that, so he's like my dad, so he just slammed the door. So he got a door slam. Another one. They're like that out here. The wording has to be perfect for some people. They're like asshole college professors. Anyway, I gotta find that one. It'll be there. I'll show it to you. It's not that one. He's an asshole. Belligerent men out there, and hey, I've been one of them. I'm not gonna lie. Look at these people right here having a barbecue. 4th of July barbecue. The guy that got shot in Florida by the black lady, I feel really bad for that guy. But watch his behavior on the camera. My dad, when someone would take his parking spot in a grocery store, he would walk over and knock on the door. My dad was in the Army. He was in Vietnam. They would roll their window down. They'd roll their window back then. They had that. He'd punch them. He also was held at gunpoint because the neighbors sheltered my sister for a night because he was beating me up. He was punching me in the nose over and over again, blooding my nose. He was doing it with his finger, but he did it until blood started coming out. Happy 4th of July. They support the New Liberty Party. And so my sister asked him to stop and ran. She ran to the neighbors and hid in the neighbor's house. So my dad drove over there in his Riviera in Keller, right off Maranatha Way, right off Randall Mill Road, and Westlake. At the time, it was probably Keller or South Lake, something like that. Roanoke, I think it was a Roanoke address. And he he got out. He knocked on the door, and when Mr. Cox opened the door, he grabbed his shirt and pulled him out and told him, he told him to get my daughter, and he grabbed him and pulled him out because there was 3 boys over there. There was Brett Cox, Dane Cox, and Ryan Cox, my friend. He was my age. Ryan was my age. The other boys were older, and my sister was hiding under the bed. She hid under the bed. She committed suicide about 6 or 8 months ago, in April, I think. But anyway, he had already spanked her 60 times, relatively in the same area. She had enough, so she was hiding. And he was beating me up. So they finally just pulled a gun on my father and held him against an oak tree. My father yelled out, "Help, help, help," as they held the gun to him. The cops showed up. Whenever I arrived, they interviewed me, and the blood on my shirt, I told them it was ketchup. They said, "What's that on your shirt?" Because I didn't want to incriminate him even more, so he was already arrested. So I said, it's ketchup. So I didn't have to tell on him. And so he went to jail for domestic assault against the neighbor, basically assaulting the neighbor. I don't know what crime they filed on him. I don't know if it was trespassing or what it was, but he was out the next day. We just stayed in custody with him. He was joint custody with my mom. My mom had already left him. My mom divorced him and left and married a TCU football player. So he got, in trouble, and the abuse continued. It even got worse. It got even sick. I don't even get into all the abuse, but it got really sick. Not Good Will Hunting stuff, okay? This is not Matt Damon and Good Will Hunting. This is what it looks like when someone's talking about abuse. They're not always crying in a room with Robin Williams. You know what I mean? This is like real abuse that happened with him. I don't talk to him anymore, but it's in Rib. It's in my story. It's also in Escape from Maine. But I don't talk to him anymore. In Rib, Jed Wilson talks to his father. He brings him a bulletproof vest and a Winchester as a joke and has a conversation with him about tuna and ramen noodle. I know they hate me. I know Spielberg hates me. This is a shot I'm giving up. I know Spielberg hates me. When my father spanked my sister 60 times, he was conjuring up the spirit of Spielberg at that moment, so that I would go back and yell at Spielberg. He did that so I would go around in my future and I would drink out of a cup like this, because I had to be my father and I wasn't my father. So he spanked my sister 60 times. He had to create a failure. So I went to the bottom of the staircase with an aluminum bat to basically hit him with the aluminum bat. I was only maybe barely 12 years old or 11 years old or something. And I didn't betray my father. I let him finish the spanking of 60 swats over and over again. I let that happen. So now I'm in the situation that I'm in now. I have no sister. She blew her head off with a sergeant's gun. A police officer's sergeant's gun in Burleson, Texas. I'm pretty sure she did. I don't know if he witnessed it. I don't even know if he did it. But regardless, it's a bad thing. Child abuse is wrong. I'll be highly against it as President of the United States of America. It does happen. Spielberg will shake my hand and say, you can be President of the United States, Cole Spivey, but you'll never be a filmmaker. And I'll look at him and say, Shabbat Shalom. Go enjoy my movie that I've already made. I have over 15,000 videos on YouTube. Fuck Jaws. Watch out, motherfucker, because I'm your commander-in-chief, and all you got is a video camera. Well, he's got some 35mm cameras. I don't hate him. He knows I don't hate him, but I'm mad because he chose the wrong guy, but that's okay. Bradley Cooper can be a movie star, and I'll be the President of the United States. We'll call it even. And this was my father's legacy, right there. That's what he ended up doing. That's what he killed my sister for, so he could have that freedom. Just like that guy on the tractor. He's just a good old boy. He didn't kill her, but hell, 60 spankings can kill somebody. She should have died then. Then he would have been liable for her death after he spanked her. And I say, what are you gonna do now, Dad? You killed my sister with your belt. What are you gonna do now? They locked him up, and I would have been Bradley Cooper at that point, because he wouldn't have been able to stop me. I wouldn't have had a single stutter for the rest of my life. Not a single stutter. After that, I would have been a perfect person, just like Stephen King is, because his father wronged him. Amen. Shabbat Shalom. You ask my father, hey father, are all the non-believing Jews going to go to hell? He'll tell you the answer. He'll tell you the answer. It's called Yellowstone. My father arrested me many times when I was in college. One time for saying good is good equally in college. It was a thing I said. It was like a philosophy. So he had me arrested. And I had to go to this rehabilitation place and learn not to say that. And he said I sounded like Gandhi, because I woke up acting like a robot, and he had me arrested. He didn't just come on campus either. I ran off, and they first tried charter, and then they put me in Trinity Springs, and then they put me in JPS medical. He did all this stuff, and we had to finally go to the courts. I got a lawyer. My lawyer got me out of the situation, so I was able to get away from my father. I was proven by the court of law that I was perfect, that I was a perfect person. And then I left my father's household, and now when he calls me to come pick him up, I'm gonna frisk him and leave him by the side of the road, because that's what he did to me when I went to Uno's and I called him. He basically just said, I'm sorry, I can't help you. And so I called my friend Rob, and he got out of surgery for his knee, and he said the same. But Danny Whitworth, the brother of Johnny Whitworth, who is the guy that gets killed in 310 to Yuma with, was it Russell Crowe and Christian Slater? He plays Tommy. His brother came and picked me up. And then my sister got me an apartment in Crowley when she was alive. And my sister also bailed me out of jail when I couldn't pay this traffic ticket, which was a school zone ticket. She bailed me out. I lost all that when my sister died. I could have spent the rest of my life with the security of knowing that my sister was around. She was my sibling. My father needed her dead so that he could see my hurt heart as he passes away. He basically wants to take us both with him. They'll do that. The parents will take you both with them if you have a sibling, so be careful. They'll take you down. Now I don't have a sister, so be careful. If you have an abusive father, they will kill your sibling if they can. He didn't do it directly, but he spanked her 60 times, and later on she offed herself. So I blame him for that. He blamed his father for his brother killing himself during Vietnam. His brother, his older brother, that's all he talks about. His older brother took a .22 gun and put to his head and blew his brain out because he didn't want to go to Vietnam. I didn't have to worry about Vietnam. When I was born, the war was over. Right, so he's a Vivint guy. Vivint is interesting because you can run into a dealer dispute. It's usually with ADT. Dealer disputes are real weird. He's Vivint, so probably could have signed him up. He just wants to stick with it because he doesn't have a movers package, but he moved all the equipment himself, so he had to install the doorbell camera himself. I don't like that. ADT actually it'll move you. They'll move you for free. ADT moves you for free. So they'll move all the equipment and properly install it. I'll see what you're talking about. See, it's not properly installed. But he had to move the ADT. I mean, he had to move the Vivint equipment. ADT, he was with ADT a long time ago. He switched over to Vivint. So he had to sit there and install that himself. This stuff about hating your father, and it comes from fear. They instill a certain amount of fear in you, just like a post-traumatic stress disorder soldier victim. They're usually big with the military. They instill fear in their son so that they can be more successful. They compete with their sons. A father should be fair. A father should not be arrogant and out of control and abusive and jealous. A father should be fair. And a father should be good and good-hearted. A father should not whip their daughter 60 times. That's horrible. That's not good parenting. Also, my father smoked marijuana. I'm highly against marijuana because of that. And my father was a speed king. He did crank and stuff like that. My sister did it too in high school. My father did speed. I never have done it once. My father went to rehab over it because it's addictive. My father is a failure, but he sees himself as like a king, and other people see him as highly successful. But not to hate your father, because look what the son of Rob Reiner did. That's a horrible thing. So you have to learn that it's instilled in you. You have to voice it, okay? But then you have to say, this is wrong. I have to learn to love my father and find the good. What is the good things he did? He bought me a motorcycle when I was younger. He allowed me to watch Beverly Hills Cop and movies, like Terminator and things like that on VHS tape. I had my own little private screening room when I was growing up. We lived in a mansion, so he had money, but he did beat me. So I have to learn to accept the good things he did and accept the bad things and move on, and not spill my anger on Steven Spielberg, who I've never met. Right? He just became a punching bag because Steven Spielberg's a good guy. He's not a bad guy. If I beat up on a guy that has $4 billion, how am I ever going to have anything in life? But I have to voice it. There's got to be a reason why. It's like, why is this guy yelling at me? There's a reason why. So you have to see the whole story. So I'll have to apologize to Steven Spielberg. Sorry that I yelled at you. I meant no harm. I've never met you. You've never done anything wrong to me. So put that down in the court document. I also made a movie called Duel And he put that in Disclosure Day, like a scene from it, which I thought was cool. I do have Duel, I own Duel, and I don't have Jaws yet, though. I haven't bought Jaws. It's on my top 11, but I do have Duel, which I thought that was cool that he added it in Disclosure Day, because Duel's about a business guy, kind of like me, but he gets chased by one of those 18-wheelers, you know, those big old diesel 18-wheeler things, you know, like these things right here. You can barely see it. They're back there. See it? He gets chased by one of those guys for a long time. It keeps on going on. He's trying to call his wife and all this stuff. He doesn't know why it's happening. It's a good movie. He made it because it was available for him to make. You know, all it was is he had to get a hold of 18-wheeler and he was good to go. And then he just went forward. Later, he would use stuff in Duel in Disclosure Day. The things you use in the past that are small, because Duel was a small movie for him, later on work. So sorry about that for yelling. I had to do that to show you the abuse, and then we'll get into the structure of filmmaking, because he's the king of it, other than David Lynch. Now you picked on him, and now you make friends with him. Now let's show these trees. Sometimes things seem out of place, you know? Like, why are there two rubber bands? I can't really see it. Can you? Let's see if you can see it. Why are there two rubber bands right there? It's weird. I don't know. Yeah, it's just pistachios. Sometimes I just pay attention to small little details.
Making faces at friends. You're a clown and a fool. Calls and bad imitations. Ignoring your homework. There's that dedication. Working the motivation. Get burning with
My heart needs protection, and so do I.
could knock on 500 doors in one day. It would be impossible nearly, but you might could do it. And they could all say no. Or you could knock on 50 and one could say yes. Or you could knock on just a few and one could say yes. It's all how you play the game. I don't know if you could do 500 in one day. You can do 100 doors in one day. But what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't necessarily matter the amount you knock on. It matters about the one that you get. That's the one that you get. So you don't know when it'll happen.
Today was gonna be the day, but they'll never throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you're not to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads that lead you there were winding.
And then we close this. Can't beat radio.
Lights that light the way are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but don't know how. I said maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall. I said maybe.
Might have killed her. And they'll be put on trial. It's probably, it could be in this area, I don't know for sure. So I was wrong about that. That's the wrong one. I was incorrect on this one. It's incorrect. Maybe, hang on. Yeah, I'm probably wrong on this. This one I'm concerned with. It's federal. Homeland Security. I have a friend that they were going to interview me about her acceptance into Homeland Security. I had no idea. I turned the interview down. So with RIB, the Revolutionary Pennant Branch on Dog Night Out, they get them just like they did Obama did, just like how they got Osama bin Laden. RIB out, how they do when they get a dangerous cop, like a training day cop. And that's what happens in Dog Night Out. It's a sequel to Rib. It happens all in one night, and they get them all in one night. Thousands of them, and more like hundreds and thousands of them, like 500,000 of them or more. And they go in at night, and they get them the exact same way they got Osama bin Laden. Obama got Osama bin Laden. They get them the same way they got when they did Geronimo, I think. Geronimo. I don't remember the code name. It's in Zero Dark 30. Zero Dark 30 is a movie by Catherine Bigelow. So they get them the same way. Exactly the same way. It all happens in one night. They go for every officer, but they don't get Shep, because Shep had already been running from the law. But they would get him. It's very much like Purge, but it's the execution of every police officer in one night is in the sequel to Rib. It's a crazy sequel. The first one leads up to that. That's where Shep is an ex-officer that's running in Alaska, Shepard Dwight East. Some of these are not titled, but you have to get them by watching the vlog. This gate is locked. Oh, there's a cool little like castles. They got the turret. That's where they used to shoot the bows from when they had the castle. It kind of looks like a turret. It's similar to that. Very similar.
Still the good Lord might lead me down. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul.
And this is what they'll be playing in the streets on Dog Night Out from their tanks. They'll come out in the front yard, meet their maker, and get on their knees with their children, because their children will die too.
I worship your holy name. The sun comes up, it's whatever may pass, and whatever lies before me. See like never before, oh my soul, I worship.
Go first person and then attack it. With Billy Summers, Stephen King went third person, so it comes off as third person. You have to pretend. All this Rib stuff is pretend. It's not real. But once you make it real, you start to feel. You can feel from your words, from your actions, your thoughts, and your imaginations. Meissner called it quick as a flame. Then you can grab words and start putting it together if you want to write about it. You can act it out first in a way, to a certain degree, like you would in a studio or on stage. You can find things doing that other writers don't explore. Actors make pretty good writers. Robert Shaw was one, but they think it. You know, whenever he was going to kill the shark, he thought about killing something, right? It may not have been a shark. He may have been thinking about something completely different, but whatever he thought about worked. We have the right to think whatever we want to think as Americans. But are these things really going to happen? In the book, in the novel, yes. In real life, well, fuck if I know. But that's where people get kind of, like my first wife gets confused and calls me and says, why are you saying these horrible things about the government? I'm actually saying good things about the government. What I'm saying is I can say whatever the fuck I want. That's a good thing. You say whatever I want, but there are certain things you can't say. There's one thing you can't say, but usually they don't say it. You can say a few things, but if it's going into the novel, then it's going into the novel. You think they're going to rip Stephen King out of his house and beat him to death with a lead pipe because he wrote Billy Summers or whatever, or he wrote The Shining? Well, I think in The Shining he used a baseball. No, what did he use? He used an axe. Okay, whatever. Are they going to rip Stephen King out of his house and get him with an axe? No. No, why is this talking about the headlights are off? Because Stephen King's ghost came in here and possessed the car. I don't know. He did Thing About Christine, which is a car. No, they're not going to let. They're going to let him have his sick 12-year-old horror film thoughts on his own. You're allowed to do that. Most people don't know that, but you.